Well, this is the cheapest 4500 that I could find. But I guess maybe I was looking for a dually. All right, let's go a quick little rundown on this truck. Now, as you can see, I have done a couple things to it at this point. I've had the truck for 2 weeks now, I guess. And I've done a few things to it. I'll show you all the stuff I've done here later in the video. Just talk about the truck a little. She's a 2012 4500, the 6.7 Cummins, and an Aisin 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I've been looking for a truck for a while, and this was the cheapest truck that I could buy, flat deck, 4-wheel drive, pretty much of any generation that I could find that didn't need all of the work. So, reason I bought this truck. Now, truck does have a bunch of miles on it. It's got 457,000 kilometers, which is, I don't know, I'll inset it in here, miles. I don't know off the top of my head. And, but truck runs good. It was well maintained. It was owned by a oil field company. The truck had a service body on it pretty much its entire life, something like that. But the guy that I bought it from had it for a couple years, and he just used it to pull a trailer. He built this deck, which I don't really like the deck, but it serves its purpose for now. But yeah, seems to be a pretty solid truck. Now, I don't know for you guys, I paid $11,000 for this truck. 4-wheel drive's got decent tires, runs and drives. I think that's a pretty good deal, even with the kilometers on it. Now, am I gonna have to do some work to it? Probably yes. Is it run and drive right now? No problems? Also, yes. So let's get into what I've done to it so far and stuff that maybe you should look at or you should do to your truck, even whether you've just bought one or if you are looking at buying one. Here we go. All right, we got 5,500 on the hoist. First inspection on the hoist. I have been driving it around a bit without looking at it, which is, let's be honest, kind of stupid. You should look at the truck before you drive it around, especially when you're towing with it. Not too bad though. So this upper control arm, the bushing is beat in it. Had a little bit of steering input, I guess, when you hit bumps or something. I'd say it's probably because of that. The other ones look okay. So we're gonna put one control arm in it because I don't wanna spend all the money on this truck. The shocks have been changed in the front, but we're gonna put new ones in it because they're crusty and I don't think the shocks are great. Brakes are okay, ball joints, tie rod ends are good. Somebody has been into it. I'm going to put the tires that were on the front on the rear because they're cupped a little bit. And rear shocks. Because these ones, I would say, are probably original. And you guys can see that. They are beat to death. So we're going to fix that. And the exhaust broke off. So I'm going to just weld it back up. It'll be fine. This one's like that too. Man, it is beat to death. I bet you they're not much good. So we're going to do that, changing the engine oil, and I think that's about it for what I'm going to do right now anyway. I would really like to put a bumper on it. I'd like to put a ranch hand on it. Going up and down the highway, there's lots of wildlife and stuff, especially in the fall. I would like to put a ranch hand on it, but I had to find somewhere I can buy one for a deal because I'm like that. I hate paying retail for stuff because, well, let's be honest. Why pay retail if you don't have to? But that's what I'm into right now. I think what I'll do is I'm going to pull this thing apart and then I'll show you, if I get to a point where it's being ignorant, I'll bring you along for the ride. Otherwise, just taking bolts out of the shocks and doing that control arm, pulling the rear one, and then pulling the rear tires off. Front tires come off super easy, so I'm assuming the back probably will as well. All right, let's get into her. All right, so we got this thing back together. I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so I did not put the front shocks in. I got them half out and then realized that I have to pull the battery boxes. I forgot about that. So I did not do the front shocks. They're still sitting in the box right here. We'll do them at a later time, maybe the next oil change. I had the bottom bolts out, which nice that they came out. But the front shocks still have shock left in them. I got that new control arm in. One nice thing about Alberta is there's not a lot of rust. Well, we have rust, but not like Ontario. All of the shock bolts come out. all of the two control arm bolts come out, no problems. You can see I painted the wheels, just better than crap, right? Better than rust. I did take the front wheels, put them on the back, and vice versa. Swap the two to the front. And then I also did put balance beads. I don't know if you guys ever deal with balance beads or ever use them. I couldn't get the ones that I needed size-wise. That's the ones that I used. I just used 2 package per wheel. I only put them in four of the wheels just because I didn't want to break the other 2 down. I never even took the other 2 off the truck. So, yeah. And the rear shocks, I would say they were due. Like I said before, you can see how beat up they are, but is it this one? Maybe it's the other one. Yeah. No, I don't think there was much shocking going on. Oh yeah, there we go. Not too much shock going on. So yeah, now got to weld the exhaust back together. All right, first thing, well, one of the first things we need to do to this thing is the seat in this thing is just hamburgered. Like, it's rough. So I bought a new seat cushion. I see I maybe should have bought a new seat cover, but I did not buy that. So we're going to put the seat cushion on anyway. And this has got a cover over it anyway, so I think that should be sufficient for now. And then it doesn't hurt my back. Okay, let's get into this thing. All right, we got the seat out now. You can see all the nice crap. Probably sweep that out of there. Super easy. You have to unplug this one connector. Well, there might be 2 connectors depending on your truck. This is it's a work truck, so it's a base model. This one just has to come off the bracket. This one gets unplugged. 2 15s, 15 mil head, 2 back here that are 18. And if you have trim pieces, you just yard the trim piece off. It just has a clip. Just pull. Let's shove that back on. Just want to pull straight out on these and they come right off relatively easy. Let's look at the seat. I think I have had one of these apart before, but it was so long ago, I don't remember. So we're learning together. Pretty sure these plastic things, this holds I want to call it a bolster, but I believe that's the wrong name for it. Let me know in the comments what that actually is called. And then I think this one is the same idea. But I think that there is... Oh yeah, they're on the sides too. All right, I'm gonna have to pull this piece off. I'll come back to you when I get that pulled off. And, well, maybe we don't have to pull that off. Let's see. I'll come back to you. All right, we got our part. So you do have to take this panel off. I was trying to cheat, it didn't work. So you gotta pull this panel off. Pretty easy to get off though. You have to take this handle off. There is this little clip. What I did was I just reached in here with this pick, pulled the clip off. There is actually a special tool for doing that. I even own one. Can't find it. So anyways, we use a pick. Just make sure you don't jab yourself in the finger like I did. There is one screw, the back right here, which is, this goes on there like that. There's a screw back here. You can see where the hole is there. You have to take this little side panel off because there is another screw that goes right there. It goes in the side. Both Phillips, not big guy. Well, one's a big Phillips and a smaller Phillips. I think that's a number 4, number 3, 5. And this just comes off, same idea. Those little clips. I just stick a screwdriver down. When you're looking down at the panel like this, you can see them stick through there. Just. All right. Now, something that you do want to do is put this clip back in this handle so you don't lose it. You just put the clip in there and then just swat it with your hand, putting it back on. Now, we got the foam out, and that foam is She's Seen Better Days, sheer rough. So hopefully the new foam looks just like that, less screwed, hopefully. And I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see it out of the box. This is directly from China. Just off Amazon, bought cheap one. Well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say cheap one. These were probably cheap junk too. So let's open up the box, see what we got. Look at that. Isn't that called forethought, apparently? I didn't realize I bought it with the cover. I splurged, bought it with a cover. This cover's pretty messed up anyway. So, future me, now present me, is glad that I had forethought. I didn't order that long ago, but I forgot. It, I don't know. I guess we'll see. The foam is definitely a different color than that one. I don't know if that makes a difference. Any of you guys are seat guys, let me know, like, is this going to be complete garbage? It can't be worse than that one, though. Like, come on. Like, even if it only lasts a couple years, it can't be worse than what I was sitting on. So, all right, I guess we'll spin the seat around. We got to take one clip off because the little bolster thing is held by that, which I believe is these pieces. So I'll have to do that, put that back on. I think that kind of holds everything back down here. I'm going to have to find a screw there, though, because the on this side, it was like a little plastic grommet, like a Christmas tree. And it's not there anymore. This side looks like it's got a screw in it, though. So I'll have to take that out, figure that out. So let's flip the seat around. All right, new seat cover on. Or new seat foam and cover, I guess. It's not real super clean just because there's... I don't know if it's this degrading or if it was actually the foam just... Looks like there's foam. I'm sure it's dirty too. But that is going to be way better to sit in. I'm 99.99% sure. I'm going to have to give her a bit of a blow job to get her cleaned up. But let's throw her back in, do the old sit test, and see what we got. Can't be worse. All right, we got her back installed. Something I did want to mention to you guys, when you're putting these bolts back in for your seat, these ones not as prominent, but these ones that actually go down through the floor, put some lube on them. Like, man, I hate it. All right, got the seat back in. Let's get this thing a first time sit in her, just see what we get. Oh yeah, she's a little, she's not too squishy. I don't know, but it'll do. Imagine probably got to break in a little bit. It's way better though, because before I was like cocked to the side kind of idea. Yeah, way better. I give it thumbs up. Well, I just got the seat done and I decided I'm going to pull this fifth wheel off, being I don't have a fifth wheel. I do have a gooseneck. I guess I could buy an adapter for that. But I want to see what's underneath this, if there's maybe a spot or revision for a gooseneck ball, or if we're gonna have to make something, or what we're doing, because I can't pull that trailer without some way of hooking it up. And I'm assuming that if I want to switch that to a fifth wheel, I'll probably have to spend a whole bunch of money. And I don't want to, because I don't know how much I'm going to use that trailer. So we might just have to see if I can get gooseneck ball fitted to this. I think that's probably the cheaper way. But I'm super lucky. The guy that built this, the nuts he must have welded the nuts on the bottom side so we can take it on and off. That's cool. I got 4 of them out. I got to pull the other 2. Do that right now. This fifth wheel plate's definitely seen some work. Well, definitely no actual revision for it. There's a hole there, so that's kind of cool. I guess I'm going to have to get something that'll bolt down here and go to those nuts. To these nuts. All right, well, gives me something to work with. I think I'm just going to probably just do a plate or something. I'm thinking that's probably the easiest solution. Either that or maybe I should look in. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I might have it already done before the video comes out, but if not, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I should look into seeing about just buying a piece to fit this versus screwing around. I don't have another trailer. I only have this trailer. Well, I have this trailer, that trailer, and then my dump trailer. Both the other 2 are bumper poles. I only have the one gooseneck, so guess I'll have to see what the best solution is here. So you got one of these trucks, and it happens to have this problem. Well, one strut's missing, but the struts don't hold up the hood. These right here are like 25 or 30 bucks each. There's the part number of these ones for this truck. Go buy yourself a pair of these things. I just bought this truck and the hood doesn't stay up. Really? The hood doesn't stay up? Come on. Go buy these. All right, so that's a rundown on what I've done to the truck so far. Nothing like extravagant, really, for the most part. I haven't driven it on the highway to see whether there's any change to the way the truck drives. Something I did not mention, I did have to fix a fuel leak. And where the fuel leak was, actually, I'll show you here quick. The fuel leak was just, I don't know why it would have been leaking there, but I'll show you. It was leaking right here in front of the axle. And that hole right there is where it was, the fuel line was. It must have got punctured at some point in its life or marked the fuel line, and it was just corroded through and leaking. You can actually see where it's been, looked like it was leaking for a while. But realistically, you know, pretty easy fix for the most part. But we got a bunch of more things to do to it. I think it's going to be a good truck because I have, well, everything inside the shop, all this junk, and then all of this stuff to move. And this C-cam is right full of stuff. So this truck, we're going to put some miles on this truck. And yeah, I think it'll be good. Anyways, like, comment, you know, all the stuff to do. And we'll catch you on the next one. Remember, keep shiny side up. All right, remember, keep shiny side up. And check out the merch. Quite a few guys have actually been buying merch just lately. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. And if you haven't, check out the store. A bunch of merch in there. I did pull a bunch of parts and all that type of stuff off of there. Supply chain for me, especially where I am, the guys that I deal with, is a bit of a pain right now. So I think I'm just going to stick with a few, you know, certain key things for now until I get moved out to the acreage and we get that all figured. So might be a little while yet, but I appreciate you nonetheless. Okay, talk to you on the next one.